Good afternoon, lovely people. How are you today? I do hope you're well. Goodness me. I've just got to get something off my chest before I get going. Oh, I arrived in such a grump. Such a grumpy girl I was. I've been waiting in. Okay, let me go back to the beginning of the day. I'll make it quick, I promise. Got up this morning, having finished yet more harvest preservation, processing, what have you, really late last night. I think it was about 2:33 in the morning before I got to bed. I've been doing more tomato sauce making, stripping the first of the lavender, some more podding of dried beans. You know, people always talk about the spring being the crazy time for gardeners and food growers. Actually, autumn is far crazier. It's far crazier because we're doing our gardens, of course, as normal, but then every night we are dealing with the harvests. How wonderful that we're in that position. But my goodness, it's exhausting. Anyway, so last night I just fell into bed. Absolutely pooped. Went to sleep straight away, as far as I know. This morning I woke up at about 7:30, and I had that kind of waking thing of, oh, amazing, I've slept through the whole night. Well, it's about 5 hours. But normally I'll wake, 2-3 times easily. I toss, I turn. But last night I hadn't. I woke up in exactly the same position that I'd fallen asleep, or that I remember being the last position. My bedclothes hadn't moved at all, and I lay there for a couple of minutes and I thought, oh, how delicious. Went to get up. Oh, and my back had completely seized again. So I think that's what it is. I think I'd just fallen so utterly, deeply, heavily asleep. I hadn't moved. Oh, cats. I hadn't moved at all. And, it's just really annoying me today. Anyway, I planned to have a whole day in the garden today. But yesterday, I missed a delivery of a parcel. They sent me an email to say your parcel will be delivered. They sent the email 2 hours after they'd come. So I arranged to have it delivered today. Gave them an alternative address if I wasn't in, but because when I did that yesterday, I assumed I'd be in the garden. Anyway, because of the bad back, I decided all the things I wanted to do in the garden, mainly get the potatoes out. I thought, I'm not going to do that. My back's too sore. I'll keep moving through the day as best I can, do my stretches, and if I can loosen it up enough, I might go to the garden later. But that's fine, I've got this delivery coming. So working on the computer, ping went my emails, opened the email, and it was an email to say, we tried to deliver your parcel 2 minutes ago, but you weren't at home. I was at home. You didn't even ring the doorbell. Oh, it's just so nuts making. And I thought, well, that's fine. They'll have left it at the safe place. And I read on in the email and it said, you have no designated safe place, so we will have to attempt redelivery tomorrow. I was thinking, I do have a safe place. I rung the company. It's so annoying, isn't it, when you're waiting all day? Well, it wasn't all day, but, waiting. Rang the company and she said, oh yes, well, he tried to deliver. And I was like, no, he didn't. There was no buzz on the doorbell. You could have left it, if you didn't get an answer, you could have left it at the shop that I designated myself. Anyway, it just put me properly in a grump. The grump has gone now because, because I've come to the garden and that always cheers me up. But I'm so excited about this. I did have a different parcel arrive today. I don't know who this is from. I know it's from one of you, rather than, say, one of my family or sort of like real life friends, as it were, because it was sent to my P.O. box. So whoever arranged for this to be sent, thank you so much. Look, it's a trug, but it's got handles. It's got handles. It's got no sort of slits and splits down the sides. Oh, I'm so happy. I haven't had a truck with handles for, I don't know, I think it's like 3 or 4 years since I lost my handles. I was so excited bringing it down today. And my friend Catherine is down on the opposite plot. So I just walked up to her and I said, look. Honestly, the first thing out of her mouth was, it has handles. We're both trug fans, and we've both been laughing at mine not having handles for years. So yes, whoever you are, thank you. Thank you that it's such a cheerful colour, and I'm definitely not going to lose it in the garden, unless I lose it in my pumpkin patch. No, I don't have any pumpkins that big. But also thank you for it not being pink. I'm not a pink girl. I mean, I like pink, but not bright pink in the garden. Oh, I love it. I'm so excited to use it. How ridiculous. But I also had another present, reaching around for it, from one of my neighbours. This is such a naughty treat. They go to a coffee shop, and with their coffee they always get a little biscuit. It's a bag full of these bickies. They don't eat them. They always pass them on to me. Gorgeous big, lovely big bag of bickies. What a lovely treat. So that will be something nice to enjoy with, say, a cup of chamomile tea. Yum, 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 yum. Spoiled. Oh, the other thing to show you, what I'm planning to do today, I've just filmed the tour, you will have seen that already, and as I was saying, like with this back being a bit, there were 2 very particular jobs I wanted to do today, which I'm not now going to do because I don't want to anger my back. The thing about having a bit of a naughty back, it's just a muscular thing, is the worst thing to do is to just sit completely still, seize up. So I do like to keep moving, and I like to try and keep moving my back through all its different positions, sideways, back, forwards. Keep stretching out those big muscle groups of the glutes, because often it's when the glutes start to get really tight that can irritate. So I like to keep moving, but I have to be sensible as well that I don't want to do heavy things, especially not heavy lifting like spuds out of wet ground. They should be fine in the ground for a couple more weeks, but then they will, sorry, water all over my face, they then will have to come out because I need the space for garlic. It's like I was saying at the end of the tour, I love this time of year because it's all that juggling again of, right, I need a bed for the garlic, where am I going to put it? I know what my plan is, I have it all planned out well in advance, so I know what's going where. But of course this year, things are late coming out, like the tomatoes, because who'd have thunk we'd had tomatoes now? Potatoes, they're not late coming out, they're just going to be delayed by a week because of the rain, but I like to get my garlic in about the 2nd week of October, so the minute we've got a dry day, and hopefully, you see, with this, I think it's 5 or 6 days of rain we've got now, hopefully that'll be enough time for my back to loosen up. I'll have to be careful at home because the temptation will be to do a lot of sitting jobs, like the lavender and what have you. I have to be careful not to just get stuck in a position and tighten up again. So, those couple of jobs can wait. This is another job to get underway. Isn't that a beauty? Oh, so this is my, the light's playing tricks, this is my cream of the crop. I grew these for the first time last year, loved them, they're beautiful texture, it's a really, really gorgeous squash. This was the one, I was very carefully trying to move the vine away from the main path so that on community mowing day I didn't accidentally run into it or anyone else, even though I was doing that bit of mowing. It snapped off. But actually it's plenty mature, it will be fine. Do I harvest the squash today? it's this back thing. I think not, because actually I won't be able to take them home at the moment. It'll be, oh no, I've got things to take home already. They can stay. We are not due any frost. Our nighttime temperatures are hovering at about 10 degrees. I'm going to lean forward. 10 degrees centigrade, which is, it's about 50 Fahrenheit. That's fine. They will be fine. So instead, I think today, let's harvest some tender stuff. Let us start with the beautiful paprika peppers. Odd weather. When the sun comes out like now, oh, it's so warm and gorgeous. Huge black clouds just above you. And when the sun goes in, oh, it does feel very autumnal. Okay, so, oh, slipping. Starting here with the Feher Ozen. That's Feherozen. I should just do a label, shouldn't I? I've been growing these for about, I think it's either 3 or 4 years now. Originally just a little handful of seed given to me by a friend. I'm finding they're doing really well for me. Actually, I think, ooh la la, bit of a stretch. I think they're doing better for me, well this year certainly, than the orange bell that I normally grow. So I'm thinking next year I'd like to grow even more of them because, as I've mentioned before, they're a sweet bell pepper, so not a chili pepper, no heat. But they've got just, I think it's hard to explain flavour, isn't it? But I think they've got just that little bit of a sort of a deeper, slightly more intense flavour. Gorgeous. Now I'm going to toss up because some of them are still orangey, yellowy. I can harvest them at that stage and use them. I prefer them when they're red. So just sort of bearing in mind the temperatures that we've got coming, the lowest we're getting to at the moment is about 10 at night. They'll be fine with that. As long as it stays above 6 or 7, they should be fine. We are still getting some beautiful sunny days, said she when we're about to have a week of rain. But there's a chance they'll ripen a little more. So I think I'm going to leave the orangey yellow ones for now. And then keep an eye on the forecast, keep an eye on the temperatures. And if it looks like we're getting really cold or they're going to rot on the plants, then I'll come along and whisk the rest of them off to enjoy. I'm in an awkward position. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful specimens. Right, I need to come around the other side. This one's a beauty with 1, 2, 3, 4 fruits on it. I've used a few of these already when making the tomato sauce, and they've been gorgeous. I've made the tomato sauce using both these and the orange bell peppers I had left over from last year, and I have to say, absolutely gorgeous. So there's one of the orange ones. Yeah, I'm going to leave them. Keep an eye on the forecast, but leave them. Oh, I might as well have that one off. It's fallen over. Oopla! It's got itself rather muddy. Beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous peppers. Right, let's go. Oh, I didn't mean to pick the foliage. Crop and drop. Let's go and pick some orange bell peppers now. So as I was just saying, the orange bell haven't done so well this year, and one of the issues has been that just as they're getting ripe, they're getting attacked. There are nibble holes in a lot of them. I think it's woodlice, I'm not sure. So, although I prefer to harvest them orange, I am going to take any that are of a good size. It's perfectly okay to eat them green. It's just that they'll be less sweet. They'll tend towards bitter, but they'll still be good. Oh, I love the harvest basket colours at this time of year. Leave you. You've been nibbled. Leave you. Have you. Oh, nibbled. Let me show you. All back. This is what's happening to so many. Look, isn't that a shame? Yucky, 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 yuck. It might be that the other half, I can save some of the flesh from that half. I will try. Oh, and let's go and have the cold frame ones also. When I did the tour video, I was mentioning my plan to leave these in the cold frame over winter. I know some folk bring their pepper plants in over winter, and you can overwinter them at home, and then come May-ish next year, whenever your last frost date is, after that, pop them back out again and they'll produce again. So I did think about it last year. However, there was no space at home because I had all my pelargoniums overwintering at home. Sorry, excuse me. You know, every surface was taken up by tomatoes ripening, squash finishing ripening, beans drying. It's just that time of year, it's just chaotic in the flat. By about mid-November it should be clearer, so in theory I could take them home, but by then I'm using up my windowsills for other things. I use them for photographing, what have you. So anyway, the long and the short is I don't feel like I've got room at home to do that, but if you have got room, give it a go. So what I can do though is leave them in the cold frame. Now, let's just pop you out. The problem with the cold frame is it's only single panes of glass. It's like a greenhouse, you know. In the winter, it is going to get cold in there. It's probably going to get down to maybe 0. So I don't know that the plants will survive on that. So what I'm thinking of doing is giving them a bit of a fleecing or even a bubble wrapping. As long as they've got enough light, I probably calm down on the watering a bit. But yeah, see if I can fleece them in some way. I've got a bit of fleece, so it's worth experimenting. If it got to a part of the winter and I thought something else needed protecting that's more important than them, I'd nick the fleece and protect whatever needs protecting. That shouldn't be the case because everything now through the winter, brassicas, carrots, parsnips, they're all very cold tolerant. So yeah, I wouldn't prioritise these over something else because it's just an experiment. I don't know that it'll work. I'm not that hopeful for it, but you know what, who knows, let's see. Now the other thing is, obviously these compared to either the green or the sort of bicoloured ones I've just harvested from outside, it's obviously considerably more ripe, more mature. So these two that I've just picked now, lovely orange ones, these are the ones that I'll do my seed saving from. Yes, we're talking about seed saving again. It is that time of year, and you know, as I've previously mentioned, as I try to kind of keep reminding us all, in terms of seed saving, you want to save from your most mature specimen, so those seeds are at their most mature. There's no point saving immature seeds because they probably won't come to anything. These have got much more of a chance. Right, that basket is looking very pretty and colourful. And there's one more really, really sad, pathetic harvest to add to them. It's over there. Come on. Oh dear. Now for the saddest of all the sad peppers. The Doux de Londe. Again, it's a sweet pepper. I don't grow chili peppers. I'm not a huge fan of heat. I mean, just absolute beautiful, beautiful peppers. Gorgeous. If you are in Basque country, a lot of recipes will be prepared with these beauties. But for me, this year, they really haven't done well at all. I've had 2 so far. That's another 4. There's a green one there. Oh, I think, a little tiny one there. Amazingly, it's flowering. I was about to say, oh, another green one there. Loads of little ones. Oh, another one there. Loads of little ones coming. I was about to say, I really don't think they liked the heat and the dry. Actually, not so much the heat, but the dry. Because they're in pots. Even with daily watering, they were just drying out so quickly. And, you know, I'd give them a really, really thorough soaking every day. I'd come back the next day and poor wee leaves, they were so wilted and shrivelling up. They obviously hated it. And now, suddenly, I don't know if you can get a sense of it there, the light's really difficult today because the sun's so low but really bright. But they are looking so lush, so healthy. There are little new flowers appearing. There are some flowers out. There's loads of little peppers forming. They look today like they ought to have looked middle of July. So here's the thing. They're fairly sheltered here because of the fence behind. You get a bit of a breeze coming around the corner. They happen to be in here with the obelisk that I was using for the sweet peas to grow up. What I'm wondering is, again, keep an eye on the temperature, like with the other peppers, tomatoes, anything like that. Anything above 6 or 7 should be okay. I'm wondering about just leaving these and fleecing these as well to see if I can prolong them enough for these little developing fruits. Can you see that? To come to fruition. Because there's so many in here. Another lovely one there. You know what? It's worth a go, isn't it? It's one of those things where my expectation for them has, over the summer, kind of lowered and lowered and lowered and lowered. I didn't even think I was going to get these little 3, 4 to pick today. Oh, they're beautiful. I picked one of them a little bit early. I don't want to. I want to harvest. My expectation got so low with them that I was thinking that they were going to be ripped out today after the harvest. So why not have an experiment? If it doesn't work, I've not lost anything, have I? The joy of gardening. It's always that thing, isn't it, of, I'm just going to weed while we chat, of, you know, you can't ever set plans in concrete. It's good to have a plan, and it's good to try and follow it, and, you know, a lot of that's to do with timing and making sure you've got time to do the things you need to do when they need doing. But with the rest of the time with gardening, forget your plan. Just go with whatever the plants are telling you, with whatever nature is telling you. And these little plants are telling me they really, really want to have a go. So I'm going to let them. The harvest is being guarded. You know, it may not be the biggest harvest today, But goodness me, it's surely one of the prettiest. Those colours. Oh, beautiful, utterly beautiful. When you see a little basket of food like that, it just reminds you, doesn't it, how, let's be grateful for whatever we get. And let us celebrate the joy of eating such gorgeous, colourful, health-giving food. Yay! And not forgetting I've got my lovely squash to take home with it as well. A few more carrots from my neighbours. Yes, this is a good day. Isn't it, Poppy? Isn't this a good day? Are you ignoring me now, Poppy? Oh dear. I'm trying not to laugh. Actually, there's a lesson in it. Poppy, bless her soul. Did I show it in today's video or in the tour video? I think in the tour video. I've got the top off my compost bins because where I've got a load of the dried pods in there, they're mixed with a bit of green stuff. I wanted them to get a really good soaking from the rain. Pop the lid back on. With the warmth and the sun on the black, it'll help to start getting it all composted down. I was just over on the end of the garden looking at the rosemary and thinking about rosemary needs harvesting as well, and Poppy went to jump up onto the top of the compost bin, as she often does, as all the cats do. Bless her, shut the fright of her life, because of course there's no lid, so vroom, disappearing Poppy. It's about a third half full. It's quite bouncy with new stuff in there. Popped straight out, but her little face, I'm slightly laughing because her face, the expression was, oh, that's the dignity disappeared for the day. But actually it did make me think, maybe I should only have the lids off if I'm actually in the garden. They have had a soak last night, but I would hate the thought of an animal jumping in there and getting stuck and then getting really frightened and maybe not being able to get out for the night, getting chilly in there, I don't know. These things, they always kind of worry me, the idea of me doing something in the garden which then hurts an animal, because it's the last thing I ever want to do. Anyway, bless her. She's talking to me again. We've had a cuddle. I'm giving her some treats just so that we can make friends again, and she knows she can trust me. Right, we're almost at the end of today. It's almost time to say cheerio. Just wanted to quickly say before we go, oh, lovely little plant. Isn't that? No, it's not for you. Isn't that gorgeous? That's the Taunton Deane, one of the Taunton Deanes. So, I thought I'd taken 5 cuttings. I took 8, and 4 of them look pretty good. 4 of them look really, really nibbled. So what's great is the 4 good ones have all got homes. Me, the girls next door, across the way Catherine, and across that way Joy, she of the Churchill black seeds and the cardboard boxes. So fantastic, they've all got a home to go to. The 4 spares I'm going to keep growing them on over the winter. They all have signs of life and a few shoots, so hopefully, despite being nibbled nearly to smithereens, hopefully there's enough life there for them to come back and sprout next year, so that any of the ones I've given out today, if any of those fail over the winter, we've got a backup plan. And if the entire backup plan works, that'll be 4 more plants to give away, because there will be other people on my site who would love to have some. Imagine eventually a whole site full of perennial kale, a little perennial kale prehistoric forest jungle thing. Love it. it's one of the absolute beauties of gardening communally is sharing, because we get to share our joys, we get to share our disappointments, we get to share our excitement, and we get to share seeds and little plants, and wherever I put them to take them home, they're already in the granny trolley. Share bags of biscuits. What a wonderful thing. Right, on that note, my back is feeling okay-ish. It's definitely not up to doing all that bending of harvesting the squash, lifting them, moving them. It's not up to doing the potatoes, lifting those either. So I think for now I'm going to call it quits, leave the garden to its own devices for a few days while it rains, and then hopefully by the time the rain stops, my back will be 100% again, and we can get back out here together in our wellies by then, because it really will be muddy, and crack on with these gorgeous autumn harvests and autumn jobs. So until then, I'll probably see you indoors doing something, looking at books, looking at parcels. That might come before this one, I don't know, it depends when the parcel arrives. Either way, I will see you before too long. In the meantime, please take care of yourselves. Look after you, look after your loved ones, look after complete strangers. Be happy with your harvests. Oh, we're definitely speaking again. And be happy with the random cats in your life. Bye for now. Oh, Poppy, that was so undignified, wasn't it? I'm glad we're still friends, though, despite me slightly laughing at you. Bye, everyone.